Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Behind the Lens. Today we have the Thanksgiving special that we're going to take a look at. And with me today are the two masterminds behind that. Can you guys introduce yourselves for the audience?
Hi, I'm Yejun Choi, and I'm a senior at Riverdale.
I'm AJ O'Leary, and I'm also senior at Riverdale, and we're the directors and producers of Thanksgiving Special.
So take us through the process of creating this. Where did the idea come from, the original inception of it?
Yeah, I think it all started with we realized Declan was a really good dramatic actor, and so we kind of wanted to utilize that, and we came up with this wild idea of a Black Friday brawl.
Okay. So it started off that, and then how did you get to it being, more about Thanksgiving, more about, being together and enjoying each other and who you are?
Yeah, we realized we needed more like a story to it because there was no story to just we're all going to Black Friday, we're all going to fight over something. And there's no real meaning to the behind the actual story itself. So we realized that the meaning of Thanksgiving is all about spending it with your family, spending it with your friends. So we decided to display ourselves as a little selfish, trying to get our stuff, but then eventually realizing we should be part with the rest of TWIRD and having this great dinner.
So one of the things you guys allowed the class to do was choose their own conflicts that we see in the episode. So tell us a little bit about some of your conflicts that you thought were a little bit more interesting and that you enjoyed filming.
My favorite is definitely Leo and Ashley's conflict. They decided to do chopsticks, and this never-ending game of chopsticks. That was really fun to watch, to film, and kind of see them, act it out.
What about you, AJ?
Yeah, I think my favorite conflict is probably the one with the Anthony saying "oh poop" because it's because I think that all three of them, Anthony, Andrew, and Joey did a great job with that one scene that we had him on the couch, and just I think it was a comedic scene that everybody could get a little laugh at with Andrew, and it displayed Anthony as this little paranoid person because he didn't want anyone finding out that he said poop, and then it's a big deal to him and everybody else, but in reality it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah. So talking about Andrew a little bit in that scene, he's laying on the floor and his feet are in the air and obviously no socks on, no shoes.
Yep.
So how did that come about?
Yeah, it was just we told them to take their shoes off as soon as. So the first scene was them walking to the house, right? So we told them to take their shoes off because that's what you do when you walk in the house. You take your shoes off. So Andrew thinks it's a great idea to take his shoes and socks off because it'd be funnier. So you could see in the beginning when he first walks in, he just stands there and looks at Pat while wiping his feet, and we had to redo that scene a few times because Pat couldn't stop laughing because it's Andrew barefoot on the ground just looking at him, just wiping his feet, and then his socks were already off. So he was like, let me just lay on my stomach and do something that hopefully will get a laugh here and there.
So one of the things that made me chuckle was Joey when he said the voices are back. Where did that come from? What's kind of the orientation of that?
That was a spontaneous thing. We didn't have it originally planned, but we kind of felt like we needed something, I guess, comedic, just a little bit in there. And so I think it might have been Leo who came up with that. He decided, hey, how about we have Joey say, oh, the voices are back, or something ridiculous like that. And so it came to fruition, and we decided to put it in there, and I guess it turned out very well. Because
I think maybe that's a future TWIRD project that you kind of walk down a little bit, take it and do something else with that later on, as far as Joey just kind of going through, because I think he does a great job there.
Yeah, if I could just add on to what Yejun said, originally so how it came to be was we heard Declan's sister and her friends were down in the basement, because they had friends over, or whatever, they were ordering pizza, and they were just talking loudly or whatever. So we thought it would be funny if somebody went over and screamed downstairs shut up or something like that, and slammed the door, and even though they weren't supposed. So then that eventually spiraled into the Joey thing, Yejun said. Leo kind of came up with that. So we started off with the idea of just slamming the door, and then Pat having family in his basement or something like that, and not wanting everybody else to know that his family's around, and then that type of stuff just spiraled into Joey hearing the voices and then saying the voices are in my head.
So you talked a little bit about a few spontaneous things that have happened throughout the filming. So what are some differences between the original version that you envisioned and the final version?
Yeah, so like we said before, our original plan was to kind of focus on the Black Friday. Even when we did come up with kind of the Thanksgiving portion of the special, we kind of wanted it to still be mainly focused on the Black Friday shopping, but we quickly realized that kind of we couldn't get enough, like, I guess, content out of that. It's not as deep of a story, I feel like, as kind of the Thanksgiving dinner. Mm-hmm. And obviously we want to give everyone more screen time, as much as like kind of as much equal screen time, I feel like. Mm-hmm. And so it kind of became, hey, let's focus on this dinner and let the Black Friday shopping skit complement the dinner.
So obviously, for the people at home, they don't realize sometimes that this took a few weeks to film, and it wasn't done in school. So the scheduling of people to be at Declan's house and be there on location, you ran into a few obstacles with that. Can you just talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, the one obstacle we ran into, the biggest one at least, was getting everybody to Declan's house on the same day, which we ended up not being able to do because people's schedules are conflicting. So we had two groups, which was the one group which was at the high table or whatever, which is Aiden, Ashley, August. No, it wasn't. It was Aiden, August, Mary, Jenna, and Grace. And then we had everybody else that was at the table, and those were the two different groups, the table and the high table. And then we had them just come in on different days, and the way that we filmed it, we couldn't film the different angles because we couldn't get the table in the background, because if the high table group was there, then the table's empty, and it's like, oh, where did everybody go? And we vice versa, we couldn't film the high table with the table there, so we had to get the certain angles, so we couldn't see everybody that was
so extensive planning went into how you were going to film that, making sure, envisioning the cut where you're cutting from, obviously the high table to the actual table. Yep. So that's great. You know, I thought it was prepared very well, and I thought you guys did a fantastic job with the whole thing, specifically that scene. So talk a little bit about the ShopRite location. I know it was you two and Declan hanging out at ShopRite for several different nights. You know, and Declan basically living in a shopping cart for long periods of time.
Yeah. So we can't really film at a mall. So the first idea that came to our mind was to film at that abandoned ShopRite, the empty lot.
We've done it many times before, so
we've been there before. I mean, it was very dark and very scary, but it was kind of difficult to film there as well, I feel like, because obviously we can't get that ShopRite in there, and inside the building there's like all this torn up stuff, and
it looks abandoned.
It does look abandoned.
We couldn't have that
view.
Yeah,
our shots were limited there as well, and we had to kind of find workarounds.
So it sounds like the shot selection, there was a lot of thought process that went into the different shots and stuff. And you guys filmed a ton of stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you have some bloopers, and we're going to kind of take a look right now at one of the blooper reels you put together, and then we'll come back and talk about it.
Cool.
Yo, what up, guys? I'm just vibing and surviving.
You can't tell when they said poop. I'm free too. Me too. Was I? I'm free. I'm free too.
Yeah, I am mine too. I'll show you.
All right, let's see here who. Oh, I can't even speak.
Huh? Yeah, where's my dinner? Where's the dinner?
It's so cold.
I won't let you two tell everyone. So I said,
All right.
no! She's right. It's his fault.
Someone you heard said something, or what the heck?
We've been here for hours. Is this TV really worth it?
Quit your complaining!
Pat, do you have family over? I mean...
I blinked, I'm sorry.
Okay. So obviously there's some really funny stuff in that video. One thing that kind of stuck in my mind was Pat continuing laughing at Andrew coming in and wiping his feet. How much fun was it to film this and be part of this and have this now as part of your high school career that you can look back on and reminisce?
I mean, it was a blast just doing it all and just like having fun, especially like the ShopRite scenes. Like it was just fun being out there. It was a little cold, but like we were all having fun. We were all like messing around with each other here and there, making these bloopers. Pat laughing after Andrew. Like it took so many attempts just to have Pat have a straight face, because Andrew, there was like points where like Andrew would just stand there for second, like it was probably like 15 seconds to just stare at Pat, and Pat just didn't know what to do. So it was like we had to keep on redoing it, telling Andrew to keep it shorter. But it was a blast filming at the house too, because it was all fun.
Well, that's great. Thank you guys for sitting down with us and taking a behind-the-scenes look at what you guys did. I'm glad you were able to accomplish this and now have this. You can look back, every Thanksgiving moving forward and kind of remember these fond moments. Well, thank you very much for watching. We appreciate it. If you would like, I'm going to put a link right here to watch the actual special, so then you could come back and kind of take a look at this. All right, thank you. Have a nice day. See you later.